What is up, guys? leifcollectsbugs here. Welcome back to the channel where we will be showcasing the 2024 insect collection. This is the update that you have all been waiting for if you were here, and if you're not here, you saw the thumbnail and the title and you just decided this is what you wanted to watch, and it will be worth your time, I promise. Well, let's get right into it. Alright, this is the Autonauta box. What we've got going on this year: Dragonflies and damselflies. Some of our best finds, of course, being the Halloween pennant, a new one here, American ruby spot damselfly, and a couple other species, including this one, which is a large species of damselfly, one of the two largest, I believe, in the States. We have these, of course, from when I first started collecting, and this green darner, common green darner, Anax junius, one of the other common but very large and beautiful species we have. Posted a video on these before, and I've made a video on this one, and I haven't made a video on very much else, but this is definitely my favorite damselfly of the year. One last skim over some of the stuff here in this box, and that would be closing our Autonauta tour. Now moving on to one of my next favorite orders, Orthoptera. Two-winged insects, flies. Surprising amount of flies, you guys. If you guys don't know much about Diptera, it's kind of just everyone thinks houseflies and mosquitoes, if even mosquitoes. But there's a lot more. And some of my favorite groups, they're all separated, as you can see. Robber flies, these amazing groups. Midas flies, or Mantids, amazing group. Beautiful, very large species of flies. And this being one of my favorites of all time, the Beelzebub bee killer robber fly. But, yes. We love ourselves some flies, guys. One of my new favorite orders. I used to be a Coleoptera, Hymenoptera guy, and I'm still those people. But something about these guys. The mimicry we have going on, like trying to mimic bees and wasps, these kind of things, you know. And then we have these amazing bee mimic flies. It's very fuzzy and cute, but there's just a lot more to them. And many small ones that people aren't studying. Paracantha culta, a beautiful species of fruit fly, which probably one of the best finds of the year, really. And I was lucky enough to find not only a gender pair, but a couple extras along the way. So, this is the Diptera. What we got going on. Good stuff. Amazing group. And I hope to find even more and showcase some awesome species like this next year. We're moving on to Lepidoptera and a couple miscellaneous groups. Some of the best finds of this year obviously include the black witch moth. This was one I've been hoping and praying was in my area for a really long time, and they're actually really hard to find in my state, let alone North America, but here it is. Beautiful female, got those antennae and everything spread very well. Got this amazing sulfur at a nature center. Beautiful animal. One of my favorites of the sulfur family, which you guys can see. I have a bit of sulfur, so. Swallowtails, monarchs, queens, commas, buckeyes, Gulf fritillaries. So, you know, we have a huge group of leps. And this is the butterflies, mainly all of my butterflies, and then the moths had to spread to multiple different boxes. We have pink, beautiful moths like this. We have some other amazing species, very small, harder to pin, can be an issue sometimes. We did find our first Luna moth of the year, but unfortunately it's not here yet because it's still drying. But we have our Polyphemus, of course, which we did find this year and was very exciting. And then we have these amazing leopard moths, which came to my light. A little bit wore down the wings, but that's just how they were when they were found. We got our first of this species of tiger moth, which I forget the name of, but was super excited to see this. And then we have our Sphinx moths, one of the coolest groups, in my opinion, of moths. Of course, you can see why. These are not only very large in comparison to other moths, generally, but we can get some small ones, like this bee mimic, which is amazing, as they are also diurnal, which is a change of lifestyle to adapt to avoid being eaten. So that's really cool. Then we have this large species, which was, I believe, a county first. I was really excited about that. This was a county first as well. Very excited about this one as well. County first on INAT at least. And then we have ourselves some beautiful vine sphinxes. So this was just a really amazing group that I am pretty fond of. Here are some more leps that are either duplicates and didn't fit on this, or, you know, that's pretty much it. And we have some other obscure groups. Some of these are foreign, as you can see, not my actual catches, but either A, from friends, or just ones that I wanted to try and pin back when I was learning how to pin. So there's these. Damselfly, of course. We can't forget about this female that I did catch and made a video about last year. So that is the Lepidoptera and a few extra little friends. But we have more room in here, hopefully for some other noctuids. That is a leps. Let's look into the Orthoptera. Orthoptera is grasshoppers, crickets, katydids, and other technically straight-winged insects. I think that's what that ortho, and then Tura would mean. But we have our grasshoppers. This is the grasshopper group. Some beautiful sazed grasshoppers with little hearts on their thoraxes. Pretty fun. Love these guys. Then we have many other ones I see in the summer. Lots of Melanopus. A few species, actually. I think about 3 or 4. Some amazing other species. I lost a bunch. As you can see, there was some space where they sat. That was the result of domestic beetles, which I absolutely despise. But not much I can do about them. I really try to curb them and check on my collection regularly to make sure they are not spreading, but that just happens. Then we have our bird grasshoppers, some of my favorite groups, to be honest. I didn't have them growing up in Utah, so of course that makes them that much more special. We have crickets, mole crickets, of course, one of my favorite groups. So fun, so cute. Then we have our camel crickets, another amazing group, but unfortunately really hard to identify. So right now I think they're just a subgenus Pseudophilus, and that is as far as people are going to ID them at this point, until I guess they are keyed and or genetically confirmed, I guess. Technically probably Gryllus texanus, but once again, Gryllus can be hard because they all look the same and they're from different places, and I think one of the only ways you tell them apart is their sound. Then we have our katydids on their own box. Tetagoniidae, which is the family of katydids. Some amazing groups. This one was caught in Utah, one of my first ever specimens in the collection. So I've been trying my best to preserve this one because it is the oldest and it's got some nostalgia. Then we have these groups here. These are all Texans pretty much. Everything besides that one is from Texas. So we did a pretty good job collecting a variety of species. Of course, I saw like maybe 100 more at least, but these are the ones that were ended up being kept. Some cool groups. Beautiful animals, and many of them are predatory, which is really cool because for a grasshopper or something related, you wouldn't expect it to eat other bugs, but they do. One of my next favorite orders, and also some of my best finds of 2024, Hymenoptera. Hymenoptera, ants, bees, wasps, and sawflies. Here we have some amazing species of paper wasps. These are more organized than lots of my other orders. As you can see, my grasshoppers weren't really organized by family, but we don't talk about that. And also you can see I'm behind on labels. They're all 9at. The specimen's all 9at. It's gonna suck doing it, but at least the data's there. And these specimens are all worth their weight in scientific research purposes. Bumblebees, carpenter bees, pebble bees right here, some of my best finds. The mason bees, osmia, these were all collected in Utah. Very, very like rare, came out of nowhere. I just saw them at one point and at my house, the mint, lots of mint growing. And they love the flowers, so I just wait for them to land and catch them. But I used to think they were sweat bees. I've now since realized my error. But yes, honeybees, leafcutter bees, more bumblebees up here. Some of my best pinned bumblebees I spent a little more time on. Cuckoo wasps, of one of my favorite groups, didn't have these growing up in Utah, so having these here, been a lot of fun. Beautiful wasps to catch, and also really pretty under the microscope. We have ourselves some other wasps up here, mainly yellow jackets, a bald face hornet, which was not actually a hornet technically, but from Utah. We have some other amazing groups, Crebronidae, which is one of my favorite families of wasps as of now, square-headed wasps and sand-loving wasps. We have Pompilidae. Pompilidae is spider wasps and tarantula hawk wasps. Some of these are also Sphecidae, which are thread-waisted, so they're kind of together. Of course, when I get more space, they're going to be a lot better organized. But this was definitely, by far, the best find of the year. As you can see, its size alone and majesty does not compare to any other wasp I've ever caught. This is Tepsis grossa, or the tarantula hawk wasp, and I caught and pinned this specimen myself. There's also a video of me holding it while it was alive, on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. So check those out because it is really magical to see these guys and also understand that they're not aggressive. On to ants. Ants are an interesting group. Ants are very, very, I guess, underappreciated, but ants are very amazing. Some of my favorites are these guys here, which I believe are the queens or elates of some soldier ants. And then I also have a male of Nevia myrmex, which was really, really interesting. But here we go. Some other amazing ants. We got some leafcutter ants, carpenter ants. I think I have some Paganomyrmex barbatus in here. There it is. That would be a harvester ant. So we have a lot of groups, and I've been trying to catch more. Some of my smallest ones are fungus farming ants, which are Trachymyrmex. Really fun groups. So I love wasps, but even more than I love wasps, I love these guys specifically. Ichneumons, braconids, chalkid wasps, those small ones, the parasitic ones. People don't talk about these. I didn't know about these growing up, but then as I got into collecting bugs, I saw more of these, and I was like, what are these amazing little groups? And these are chalkids, ichneumons, and braconids. Most of these up here are ichneumons. They come in so many beautiful colors. They have beautiful patterned wings on occasion. They have long ovipositors coming out the back, as you can see, and some of them even have ones that are like 3 times their body length. It's insane. We have mutilids as well, which are velvet ants. Velvet ants are an awesome group. These guys are mostly Dasymatilla klugi up here, and then some other different species I had encountered along my collecting journeys. Some are very, very small, as you can see, and others mostly ranging between close to about ½ an inch to about 1 inch long. This is definitely my biggest of all of them. Insane, insane find. But that is Hymenoptera, and we absolutely love this group. Yes. Moving on. Coleoptera. This is the group that probably started lots of my love for insects, because if you guys know anything about me, or if I've ever said it, I think I've said it on a few videos, what got me into bugs really was spiders. But after I got into insects, and I guess other bugs, started to draw more attention toward insects and collecting. We'll start on the left, and we'll move to the right. Diving beetles. Amazing groups. These are my largest species. There's 2 here. 2 species, 3 are the same, and 1 is different. Then we have some other beautiful species, and even subspecies, Troposternus coloris mexicanus, and Troposternus lateralis nimbatus, which is this one right here. Yes, loving the diving beetles, hoping to find some more fun species next year like this. Some of these small, wish the lighting was a little bit better, but yeah. Moving down to the scarabs. One of my other favorite groups of beetles within Coleoptera. We have grapevine beetles, which were from Texas. To the right, we have these 10-line June beetles, which were from Utah. Then we have dung beetles and earth-boring beetles, some of my favorite groups. And between those, these guys being some of my favorite. Bulbous Arizoma Posilium, native here to Texas. And then one of my rarer finds, I believe this is Eucanthus or something. Beautiful, beautiful beetle, and also very rare. Came up to my house, made things very easy. This is Dynastes titius, was actually gifted to me. I have another specimen which I caught myself, but this one, he belongs here in the collection. He has his label already. Then we have this big old fat group of Phylophaga, mainly Phylophaga species. There's like 4 in here. You can see I dissected the genitalia of some of them. For pictures, I'm going to try and post those on Bug Guide eventually. I've just been holding back. Flower scarabs and their relatives, beautiful groups. Cotonus natita. You can see the variation, lots of variety in what they can turn out to be in my area. Some of these also aren't mine. This one was gifted to me. Beautiful, beautiful species here. And then these guys were caught myself. Let's talk more about those. Phineas deformis and Phineas vindex. Beautiful rainbow scarabs, which are found in crap. So, you know, next time you see some crap, know that there's some beetle out there who loves it. Some other species that I was given, and I was also given the male to the girl here on the left. But that would cover my scarabs. Moving a little bit more this way, we're getting less family-based and more, we got a group in here. But they are separated by family. and or groups. So here are tiger beetles. Some of my favorite ones are these festive beetles. Festive tiger beetles I caught in a friend's. Then we have Cincedella sexugata, which is a pretty common widespread group of tiger beetles. Then we have Tetraca carolina, another common group. More Cincedelids right here, and then we have this limestone tiger beetle, which is also a county first, new here in the area. On to blister beetles, we have these guys here. These guys can emit some kind of liquid, which can cause blistering, hence the name. You want to be careful with these guys. You can hold them, but you shouldn't squeeze them or cause them any stress. You shouldn't pick them up how you would another beetle. You just gotta let them crawl on you like a spider. That's how I hold them. Mindful, this is my favorite species that I caught this year, by far. Zero diff. This is the best one. Up here we have some carrion beetles and hide beetles. Some of my favorite groups, of course, of these guys, which I often catch at my blacklight or street lights. Good place to look. Carabidae is a fat group that I have here. As you guys can see, I put a lot of care and effort into collecting this group because, as you can see, they're very, 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 very diverse. Some of my favorites are this velvet ant mimic here. Then we have bombardier beetles, which is this one, Brachynes. Another amazing find. Some Lebia, some long-necked ones. You can see some fun specimens here. And then Calozoma scrutator. One of my favorite beetles that kind of also like really inspired me to collect bugs. I was looking for these forever back in Utah, but of course, we didn't have that many. Here in Texas, I find them all the time. So, really cool group, and I want to try and breed them and work with them and see if I can't learn a little bit more about them. Warrior beetles, same thing. I didn't even think I had these when I moved here, and then I just see them, and I'm like, oh my gosh, amazing. Some more Calozoma. We have Macrum Calozoma wilcoxi, which is also a county first find. An amazing specimen, kind of resembles this, but is way smaller. Then we have the Texas-eyed click beetle, one of my other amazing and probably one of the best finds of 2024. Amazing beetle. And then the rest of the elaterids. Buprestidae, checkered beetles, auger beetles, fireflies, and glowworm beetles, these all males. Weevils. Weevils are one of the popular groups of beetles. So let's take a good look at some of these. Weevils. And leaf beetles and rove beetles. Rove beetles, leaf beetles. Amazing group of beetles, and I've been finding lots and lots of these this year, lots more than I expected as far as diversity goes. Then we have a big conglomerate mess of beetles that I have just enough to not make their own section. Fungus beetles, ladybugs, and then the best zophrid of the year, and probably the coolest one in Texas, the Texas ironclad beetle. To the tenebs and best beetles. They're not normally going to be grouped together like this. I just happen to put them like this because I had space for these guys. And they're a little bit big, so they're not going to fit in here. That is this group. Some really, really big species from Utah. I didn't really find that many here in Texas. Really just, I'm kind of surprised. This is probably the biggest one that I found in Texas right there. That one in the middle with the ribs. 3-ribbed darkling. To one of the coolest groups of beetles next to scarabs in my opinion, Cerambycidae. They're very common, very easy to find, but some of them are amazing and striking animals. This species here happens to be not only pretty hard to find, but also very beautiful. This is kind of unlike any Cerambycid. They typically appear brown, or flower ones, they typically are pretty, right? But these guys, the ones you find in wood and whatnot, that host on plants, they're normally brown. Some of these are massive. I like prionids and whatnot, but typically dark. So, like, while they're pretty and have amazing cool horns, not much to them, but these, definitely the coolest finds of the year as far as biceps go. A couple more groups left, and we'll be moving on to the wet specimens. This is Hemiptera. These guys, and also him. Toe biter. Caught this one myself, had it pinned myself, and worked out pretty good. Doesn't have space in any of these two, as you can see. Cicadas are in their own group, but they are also Hemiptera, so they are being showcased along with these. Some amazing diversity in cicadas here. It's crazy. It's not just the periodical ones, and it's not just It's not just Neotibicin, it's also Megatiscibin and some other cool groups. I found a few county firsts, and I think this one was a county first, and I believe where's another one that kind of I think was a county first? Probably this one right there. Interesting groups. I love these guys, the hieroglyphic cicadas. Super awesome groups. Down to these guys. Leaf bugs, coriad bugs, leaf hoppers, tree hoppers, plant hoppers. Insane amounts of diversity, and there is so many more of these leaf hoppers, but they are very hard to find. These guys here, well, not hard to find, but hard to pin. I shouldn't be putting pins through them. I should point them like I have a couple of these specimens, like this one there in the middle. But that's what I'm going to be trying to do. We got some flat bugs. We got leaf-footed bugs. As you can see, their feet typically have some kind of structure that resembles a leaf. So I've caught some cool species of those, many in the same genus, but also different species. This one here would be the eastern leaf-footed bug. Then we have the western leaf-footed bug, and then we have the northern leaf-footed bug. Isn't that awesome? I caught the collection. Some stink bugs, shieldback bugs, other random groups which are fun, and that kind of just this mess. And then some of my favorite Hemipteran groups, assassin bugs, family Rediviidae, and wheel bugs being, of course, the most widely recognized by bug lovers in terms of Hemiptera, because they are the largest land or terrestrial hemipterans in the United States. Then we have our kissing bugs. People often wonder what the difference between any of these assassin bugs here and kissing bugs are. Typically, you're going to see banding going along the abdomens of kissing bugs, and they also have small heads with big eyes and these little jointed antennae, and then also their little proboscises. But typically, their colors are in this range. Their colors typically stay around this range, the ones that people are careful of. This weird orange yellow color with the banding on the black bodies. So this wouldn't be a kissing bug, which these are assassin bugs. These aren't kissing bugs, these are ground assassin bugs. Then we got bee assassin bugs right here. And then we have millipede assassin bugs, one of the coolest finds of the year. Caught two of them. One was in a spider web and one was at my black light. Both amazing. It's like Ringia sventris or something. Really cool. There's a photo on my page on Instagram of this that I did feel it was pretty good. So if you want to check it out, give it a look. If you want to keep most up to date on all my bug stuff in general, Insta's the place, because YouTube is all video based. So most of my photos are going to end up on Insta and all my story posts, stuff like that. So if you're trying to keep up a little bit more, that is the best platform so far for you guys to do that. But also subscribe to the YouTube, because all my full-length videos that are too big for Instagram will end up here. Moving on. Move a little bit faster. Earwigs. Pretty simple. This is Orthoptera. Some of my best ones were from Utah. These guys aren't that interesting. They have smaller little pincers there on the abdomens. And, of course, not a very diverse group here in the States, at least in my area. So, of course, I haven't collected very many. We have some cockroaches, order Blotidea, also related to termites, and there's still debates going on who there are, but I'm just on side termite. Yeah, cool group. Arnavega species, the casual bathroom, Paraplaneta americana. Then, of course, one of the best groups of bugs that people don't really talk about, and I know there's a couple outliers here that aren't supposed to be here, but just ignore that, like this stonefly up there. Neuroptera. Mantis flies. Amazing, insane animals. Not mantises, not flies, not wasps, but just neuropterans. We have snake flies, which are order Lepidoptera. I know they're not supposed to be here. We have lacewings, antlions, owl flies. Owl flies are really cool. I was so excited to find my first of these guys. Yeah, so I will be trying to post more about mantis flies in the future, because I found them. I just didn't make videos on them. Made videos on lots of other stuff, though. On to the last one of my, I guess, insects. Mantidea. Such cool insects, and I really wish we had more in my area. I still haven't I mean, this is the closest to the female Stagmomantis carolina that I've caught, but I want a bigger dark brown one of this one. And then these are the males. I think this one of these males could be Stagmomantis conspircata. As you can see, awesome group. Lots of fun. We love them. They're charismatic. They're predatory. There's not much more you can, not much lacking, not much to hate on them. Just awesome animals. And if they were any bigger, we'd be running for our lives. The special secret section. It's not secret, but it's special. We have our wet specimens. This is my first camel spider. We have Amatrecula, I believe. Then we have some specimens that, this one was a Jerusalem cricket that I bought. It showed up dead. I was like, well, we'll keep him in our hearts. This is my first horsehair worm, which I did make a video on my shorts and also on Instagram. And then we have lots of spiders, many jumping spiders, my trapdoor spiders, were all males. Wolf spiders, some of my best jumping spiders, like this one here. Beautiful, beautiful red species. And then we have orb weavers, and that kind of covers this. We do have another of these glowworm beetle males. I was like, their antennae are always breaking and drying and curling. What if I just put them in a wet specimen and kept them like this? So that has been the way to do it. But we got brown recluse, black widows. We're a really, really cool group. So this is how I be storing my spiders, and I will make more spider video and spider content because I'm getting more back into spiders again. And then, of course, the last special find and or friend. This one is alive. This is Tigrosa georgicola, and this is my personal special little girl. Not that little, as you can see, actually fairly large, but she has her own little joint, her own little place. It sits right on my desk whenever I'm doing my entomology stuff. She's right around here, so she's quite special. We love her. Still trying to give her a fun name. So if you guys have suggestions, write them in the comments. This has been the Bug Collection Tour. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.